Hello everyone. In this video we are going to take a look at how to create a player controller for our character we created in previous videos. So before you start, there are a few things you have to take care of first. So you may need a basic understanding of C# to follow along, but you don't need. If you're just trying to understand what I'm doing right here, you can just follow along. You will get the same result as me. And also you need to install a code editor for Unity. In this case I'm using Visual Studio Code, but you can use whatever code editor you like. With that said, so let's start our project. So go to the Unity project you have created, and if you follow with the previous video, you may have the animation in your character right now. But we can't move or jump or any other movement in this project. So we have to create a player controller to control our character, which means basically a script we can use to control our character. So there are two methods you can use to program in Unity. The first is manual scripting using a code editor by yourself, and the second method is visual scripting. So we are not going to talk about visual scripting in this video. We are going to talk about the manual scripting in Unity. So in Unity they use C# as the programming language, but the Unity is developed with C++, as I know, but it doesn't matter. We have to use C#. We were able to use JavaScript as well in the past, but now we only can use C# as our programming language. So first, to be organized, I am going to create few folders in our project folder. So we have our folders. It's a little bit organized right now, so we have to create a new folder as well, which called scripts. So we are going to create a new folder and it's called scripts. So now we can create a new script for our player. So you can create scripts in different methods in Unity. The first one is creating in the project folder, so that's what I'm going to show you first. So you can right click in this project folder area, right click, create C# script. So you can give it any name you like. So I'm going to say player underscore controller. So make sure not to keep spaces in these scripts and every file, so you might get conflict when you are using these later. So make sure not to keep spaces in your naming objects in Unity. So now we create our script in here, and also you can create a script by select our player. So we already have character controller right here. So if you don't have one, you can select the player in here, add component, let's say controller. You can see character controller, so it's already has the same component again. So if you don't have character controller, please make sure to add one. So, and you can adjust this with this center radius and other options. Which is the green colored capsule thing is the character controller. We can see right here. So you can also add the script same method as the character controller. So you have to select the player in the hierarchy and add component, give it a name you like. So I'm gonna player cunt and select new script and create an ad. It will do the same thing. So when it comes to here, you can drag and drop into the script folder. So we done the same thing in the same method, different method. So now we have to add our player. If you created the script in the first method by using the project folder, you have to add this to our player in this inspector. So I'm just gonna drag and drop into the inspector of the player. So I'm gonna double click to open this in the Visual Studio Code, and if you're not installed the code editor yet, you have to install it. And if you're not opening, you have to make sure go to edit and preferences, and you have to select, go to preferences, external tools, and external script editor. You have to select the code editor you are using. In this case I'm using Visual Studio Code. So if you don't see in here, you can browse and select where you install the program you are using. So in this case I use Visual Studio. So our player control is open in Visual Studio Code, and if you are using Visual Studio Code, make sure to install this extension which is called OmniSharp C# extension called which powered by OmniSharp by Microsoft. So we have to install it to use. Start programming. I will give you a brief intro about programming for those who don't know anything about it. So first of all, when we programming in C#, specifically in Unity, first we can see there's 3 lines. Those are called namespaces. So namespaces will allow us to use different methods, functions, etc. in the code. So usually Unity comes with these 3 naming conventions, so we are not going to think about those right now. So then we can see there's a public class play control behavior here. So basically this is refers to the script which I was created and open right now. And also we can see there's a void start and void update. So void start and void update are methods which will run a specific line of code within these curly brackets. So these are basically the same, but in Unity the start method is execute first, then it goes to other function, so it will next run the update function. So Unity usually comes with these 2 methods, so we can see it's right here. Also you can see these green lines with the double backslashes. So these are called comments. So comments don't actually affect our code. If we want to comment something, it will not affect our code. So then we can also use it for give some introduction information to those who are going to collaborate with you when programming. And also another important thing is variables. So variables are the data types we are using in programming. So for example, if I need to use a number in programming, you can just simply say float and we can give it a name. So I'm going to say number, and we can just end it with a semicolon. So semicolon means the end of this line. So or we can just assign a value for this by equal sign and give it a value. And because we are use a float, we can end it with f. So then also we can for int means integer number 2. So and another important thing, we can't use same name for variables. So I'm going to use 10. So like that we can create variables. So with that said, I think it's the time to start program. So we are in our player controller script. So we need to first define our variables. So first we need a public. In this case we are going to use a data type, or basically we are going to use a game object type called character controller. The character controller is the same as we created in the Unity. So then I have to give it a name. So another thing is the public. Public refers to the data, this variable not only, and we can also use this variable outside this script. If we create a private variable, we can only use it in this line of code. So I'm gonna just say controller, and I need to end it with the semicolon, so you'll know this is the end. Then I need another variable called, we need as a public float speed. So I'm gonna assign is a value, so 10. Not I need the semicolon. So this is the speed we are going to use as the player's movement, and this is the character controller we are using in this line of code. So we have to go to the update function, and we need to create another float point numbers. So we can use this speed function anywhere in this code, but when we create and also since this is a public, you can use anywhere, but if we create a private variable under this method, I can only use it in this method. So I'm going to just float. I'm going to say HOR equals to so this refers to the horizontal and vertical axis in our movement. So if we go to Unity, you can see we have 1, 2, 3 axes in Unity. So this is the X, and this is Z, and this is Y. So the X-axis refers to the horizontal movement, and Z-axis refers to the vertical movement, and we are not going to use Y-axis in this movement. So we just have to take care of X and Y. So if you want to move in the X-axis, we can use the input from our mouse or keyboard, joystick, or anything. So we can see those in Unity. Go to edit and go to project settings. Under project settings, you can see input manager. In this input manager, we can see all the input axis. We can see in this input manager, we can see horizontal, as I told you, the x-axis, vertical, the z-axis, and also we can add new if you like, and we can also use this. But there is another input system Unity is using. So this is the old one, this is the mostly commonly used one, but there is a new input system for those who are interested. In this video I'm not going to talk about that, I'm just talking about this input system. Then we can go to our script. We can say input dot get access. So when this I done this, it will get input from WSD keys. In this case, only get from A and D keys, and left and right arrow. And also, if you're using a joystick, you can get from this X, Y, or whatever type of joystick you're using. It may be different, but it will get input from those axes. So I'm going to create this bracket, and I have to give it a name, the exact name as it is in this way. So it will go as horizontal. So I'm going to say a float, same as for the vertical axis. Alright, now we have the axis. Another thing is we need to define our movement. In the same way, we can use over to move our character. In this case, we have to use another data type called vector3. There are different vectors. Vector 2 refers to 2 numbers. Vector 3 refers to 3 not numbers, 2 data at the same time. Usually we use numbers. Vector 3, it can hold 3 numbers at once. So like x and y and z axis values, and or any number you like, number or value you like. So I'm going to say give it a name movement, and I'm going to assign a value as we have to give a new, it has a new vector 3. I'm going to give it the values. So I'm going to say HOR, horizontal is the x-axis, and 0 for y-axis because we are not moving in the y-axis, and vertical for the z-axis. And I'm going to end it with the semicolon. So movement, we define our movement like this, and we also need to execute our movement by using the move function embedded in the Unity. So I'm going to controller dot move, and under here you can just say movement. When I save and I go to Unity, and we will update our project with this new script. Also, when we are going to go to our player, you can see our script is updated these public variables we can see right here. So first I have to assign the character controller to this because it will not know what is the character controller we are using. Can I use this character controller? And if I hit play, it should work. Right, if I hit play, you can see the movement is very fast. You can't even comprehend what is going on. So if I go to scene new, I'm gonna dock the play game view right here. We can see clearly. So we can see our play is moving, but it's very fast. So this is because we give speed 10. It won't affect with the time, it affect with the performance in your computer. So if I go into decrease it, it may not work because it will perform as the speed of your computer. So this is not what we are going to use, because we need the same performance in the every computer we are using. Because of that, under this vector3 movement, we need to go to add a new line of code with the asterisk, or multiplication sign, time dot delta time. So because of this line of code, it will smoothly run on every program as it is when it comes to movement. Alright, so for the sake of the camera, we should see our character from this angle, but right now we are seeing character from the front, that you can see in the game view. Because of that, I'm going to reset my camera. Go to select a camera and go to inspect and reset. So it will reset to the default position, and I'm going to move it back with this button. We're going to use W, E, R for move, rotate, scale. You can see our character is moving really slowly right here. Because of that delta time delta time function. And also we didn't multiply with the speed, so we have to multiply this with speed. I forgot about that. So you need to multiply with speed, otherwise the values are not multiplied with the speed. That's why we could able to see this weird behavior. So right now we can see it's kind of smooth and smooth not, and also we can see our character is not rotating the way they are facing. So right now we think the movement is fine, so we need to rotate our character based on the direction they are facing. So to that, so I'm gonna hit stop playing and go to Unity, go to the code again, and we need to create another variable called this is public float. I'm gonna say rotation speeds, and also you can see the naming convention I used right here. It's called camel case. The first is simple and the second is capital. And also another important thing is not to keep values spaces between the variable naming convention. You can use underscore or any other character to demonstrate the difference between these. So don't ever keep spaces, because it will think is as the next step. So, and also I'm going to assign this a value, so I'm going to say 50 and press F for its floating point number because of that, and delete the semicolon. And go to under the after this movement, I'm going to say use another line of code. In this case, I'm going to use a condition. It's called if, one of the most common condition we are using programming. If movement, the movement which we were created in here, the vector movement, is not equal to 0. So we are going to show it as not equal with this. Not equal to vector 3, not 0, because it holds 3 numbers. So we have to say vector 3 dot, so we have to say 0 like this, and we need to create curly brackets under the if function, if condition, not function. So we have to say if the value is not equal to vector 3 dot 0, we have to say transform operation. This is transform is another way to move, rotate, scale, editing our character. Transform dot rotate, rotation, and not rotate, rotation equals to, in this case we are going to use another term called quaternion. Quaternion is using to rotate or refine our character. Quaternion dot slurp. Slurp is usually, I think it is using this top down movement. So when we come to here, we can see a character like this. So it will rotate the character based on the way you should be. So like this way, like that. Slurp. So we have to give two values. So when you are going to give some input, the code editor will show how it should done. When you can hover this mouse out here, you can see how this should be done. So you have to use quaternion A, quaternion B. So we have to give two values for this slurp function. So I'm going to be transform dot rotation. This is the first value, and this is going to be next value going to be quaternion dot look rotation. The rotation it's going to look, and the value going to be the speed going to be your rotation speed. So and going to time dot delta time for the smoothness. I'm going to end with this. Alright, I have to give the movement as well, so I'm going to say movement in here. So this is going to get the movement from this movement vector 3. So our code is done, so I'm going to save it. So just keep looking if you not catched up. So I'm going to Unity again. So we are done using. So as input I am using mouse and keyboard, so I can see our character is facing the direction it is moving. Kind of speed. So we can adjust this later. And also we can see our idle animation also play. So our movement is done. So the next part is we need to play the animations as well, because we are just only playing the idle animation over and over again. So we need to create another script, or we can use this script as well. So for easy understanding, I'm going to create another script so we can use and understand easily. So I'm going to create another script to locate animation underscore controller. This is the script we are going to use. So don't think about naming convention. So you should rename it as it is, but when I'm going to rename right now, it will crash. So I'm not going to do that. Right. So go to player, and I'm going to just drag and drop this to here. Our player, play in inspector. I'm going to open this in the Visual Studio Code. Alright, right now we have our new script. So as like before, we need few variables in here. It's going to be not few, just one, I think. Animator. It's going to be animator again. So I'm going to give the same name as this variable type. So you can give any name in the variable. So far we done. You can give any name. So for example, you can rotation speed, or can this move turn speed, move rotation, or whatever you like. So we just give it some reasonable name so we can understand what is going on. And after demonstrating in this way, assign the public variable in the inspector. And also another way to get the component from our player is just using get component. This component get component method. So because we need to first get the animation every time we are executing our code, every time we are playing. So I'm going to get our animator by using animator equal means this is the value we are going to use for the animator. So it's game object dot get component. So I'm gonna say this arrow backwards or something like that. I'm not quite remember the name. No, and it is inside this bracket I have to say animator. And open and close bracket and end it the semicolon. So it will get this every time we run the code. The animator, this animator will get as this animator every time. So and go to the update method, and we need to define the input from our x and y axis just like before. So we're going to use float HOR equals input dot get axis. Then we need to use a function again in the update function. So you can create the new function in separately, but I'm just going to use this update method. So I'm gonna say we are going to check if the speed is this point. So in the previous video we set is as the transformation from idle to work animation, it only if greater than 10. So this is because I changed a little bit. So because we transformed the idle to this work animation, which is 0.1, and going back to 0.1, and if we go to the run animation 0.9, because we adjusted this. So just don't think about this right now. So it get input from 0 to 1 from this input. So we need to give the input same as it is, because we are not going to get the correct input from this. So I'm going to just keep it as 10, because you have 10 like that in the previous video. So your play controller animator should look like this. So we need to get the input from 0 to 1. The 0 to 1 means it get from 0 to 1. So for like -1 to 0 and go to +1 from to 0. So that's the way they are going to get input. So input only lies between 0 and 1. So just like this, you need to transform then this to this, because it will get the input from the movement, and it's transform the animation from idle to work animation. So that's what we are going to do. So I'm going to say if HOR is not equals to 0, I'm going to say and. This is how and uses, and also we need another condition, not just this one. Vertical speed. So vertical speed equals to 0. So vertical speed is 0, horizontal speed is not 1. So for set our variables, this animator speed, we can use another line of code called, we can say animator dot set float, because we use the floating point number. In here we can see this is a float. As I say, we use the float, so we have to use the same as it is. Float and open parentheses, got the same name as the here. Use the same capitalization as it is in here, and go into comma, and I'm going to set this as horizontal speed. So I will show you what happened or this like this. And we also need to, if the values are not not equal to 0 and vertical input is 0, we need to give the speed as from the horizontal axis, and also if not, we can use the else condition. Else we need to set this animator dot set float for the speed of the vertical, because we use the horizontal right here, otherwise we need the vertical. So because of this I can move with this, but there's a problem. I will demonstrate you after. I will show you how this code will work right now. So it only play walk animation. Just look at this. So I'm going to say, let's say you only walk animation in the some ways. So you can see this walk animation is playing, but it's only saying in the one direction, and it never go to the run animation. Get set our conditions in here, the animator, for a reasonable value. So we can't use the 10. You may have 10 as it is right here. So that's why I changed it earlier for 0.9. But you can change this to the reasonable value. Then we need to get the absolute value. So first we need to get is reasonable value. I'm going to say 0.5, and I'm going to say we are going from walk animation to run animation if this greater than 0.5, and come from run animation to walk animation it is less than 0.5. And also we are going to give animation value from idle to run if the greater is than 0.9, sorry 0.5. And also we can go into run animation to the idle animation if the value is 0.5, less than 0.5. So just like this you can adjust the value for a proper reasonable values. So it is up to you to determine how the values should be done, because the input from the values are get from -1 to 0 and 0 to +1, and these values have minus values and also have plus values. Because of this, we need to just get the input from both by absoluting the value from there, and the minus values also become plus positive values. For do that, I'm going to use math dot abs. Abs refers to absolute, so I'm going to say horizontal. We need another comma right here. So I'm going to control S to save. I also forgot I used control S to save. So we have, every time you change something, you have control S to save, or go to file, save. I forgot to tell you earlier, so make sure to do that. So I'm gonna Unity again. So as I see, we are playing the idle animation. If we go to here, you can see our character is running. And also, as I told you, you can tweak the values based on your preference. So you can see he can also run in the sky, because we didn't add any gravity for our character, so I'm not going to talk about in this video. So this is the final result. So I might get a closer look. And also we can create a new script to control our character. We can use Cinemachine, the Unity extension, to do this. So in this video I'm not going to talk about those. So here's our final result, and this is the end of the video, and I think this is the end of the series as well. And I'm really sorry if those who followed from the beginning, and this is going to be the end of this series, because I couldn't able to upload a video from the very long time because I had academic works and others things. So thanks for really those who are supporting me in every possible way, and those who are stick with this channel from the beginning. And my name is Theekshana if you don't know about me, and bracket name is just a name for my YouTube channel. Obviously I'm not very good at speaking English because my mother language is not English, because I born in Sri Lanka, still in Sri Lanka by the way, and I will give you many tutorials as I can. So I don't know, I might get good at this. So thanks for really for watching. So make sure to subscribe, like and share with your friend, and those are the only ways you can support me right now. I might get a Patreon account if I can, for when it comes to this, but I will try. So I will hope to see you in the next video. I don't know what it's gonna be. So thanks for those who are every time stick with me. So I will see you in the next video, and goodbye.